first one is from Mark Jenkinson, and Mark would like to know, who would you most like to have met or meet, both dead or alive?
I'd love to have met Marvin Gaye and John Lennon, and from today, people. I've met quite a lot of people that I admire these days. You know, I'm lucky enough to say that, really. I'd quite like to meet the guys from. I'd quite like to meet Devendra Barnhart because he interests me as an artist and a character. And maybe the guys from this band called Dr. Dog, or a Philadelphia band. I'm interested, just because their music intrigues me, really interests me.
It's interesting you mentioned Devendra Banhart. I mean, I think there's almost like a sort of parallel to Traffic musically. I know you're a big fan of.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got loads of so many different influences in his music, and you know, I can hear kind of bowling in his voice and lots of different things, really.
Mm. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting one.
Tropicalia type sort of feel to some of these tracks, and
could this be the direction you might be moving in next then?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe.
Tropicalia. Dave and Steph want to know: do you still get the same buzz that you got when you wrote and performed your first song?
I think so. I mean, you know, because it's hard to remember what it felt like the first time, you know, because it's a long time ago. But I can only say that from working on a track when you've got next to nothing, it's just a kind of idea or a mood, to chipping away, and then all of a sudden it turns a corner without you realising it, and then by the end of the day you've got a track which is pretty much fully formed, and is knocking everyone out. It's going, wow, you know, where's that? It's just because it seems to have come from nowhere. And that's a buzz, definitely, because you've just seen this thing grow out of nowhere. So I think that's quite a similar thing, really, if that's what they're asking, anyway. You know, it's hard for me to remember what I felt like when the first time, do you know what I mean? But I don't think it's too dissimilar, really.
But you're still getting a high level of satisfaction.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't necessarily say every year in, year out, but most of the time, I mean, there's just probably no point in doing it otherwise, really.
Sarah wants to know what the inspiration is behind I Should Have Been There to Inspire You. She says she's Googled everywhere to the ends of the earth and she can't find out, and she says it's a profoundly beautiful song and she would love to know.
I think I was thinking about my relationship with my first wife, with Dee, really, how badly I felt I'd let her down, and I suppose, as you so often do, really, in life, you know, you kind of just take people for granted, and the idea of the song was that instead of sort of putting you down all the time or mowing and, you know, picking on your faults, you should be there to encourage people, and if you really love someone, you'd really encourage them and you'd help them in that way, you know, which I didn't do, I don't think. I guess that's my own sort of, you know, guilt feelings and that coming out, really, but I guess that's what the song's about.
Is that something that you've learned from, would you say?
Do we ever learn? I don't know. I'd hope so, but I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I would hope so.
Now, Ross here, this is an interesting one from Ross. Ross...
Not Jonathan, no.
Not as far as I know, just Ross here, but he would like to know, if someone was to make a film of your life, who would you have playing you? Now he's
someone good looking, mate.
Well, he's made a couple of casting suggestions here. He reckons Nicholas Lyndhurst for the Jam Days, and Rhys Ifans for the solo years. What do you reckon to that?
Can't I have like Pierce Brosnan or something like that? Not because I look like him, remotely like him, but someone cool like James Bond sort of geezer, you know.
That could be good.
Nicholas Lyndhurst. I can see it though.
Sharon's asked an interesting one, and David Martin, another reader. They're both sort of asking the same question, but coming from different places. David quotes from Our Favourite Shop, and Sharon asks if you still feel angry now that you're older about social inequalities and working class issues. Is that still something that fires you up in the same way that it did do?
Yeah, it wouldn't necessarily make me want to go out and write a whole album about it, but it still would anger me, yeah, definitely. I mean, what was the question? Was that the question?
Well, yeah, obviously, are you still angry? I mean, the other sort of add-on to that is really when David's quoting from Our Favourite Shop. I mean, does it depress you that after all this time, those lyrics are still relevant?
Yeah, well, it is depressing, yeah, but you know, because obviously it just means nothing too much has changed, doesn't it? You know, which is another reason why I don't really feel inclined to write a lot of those sort of lyrics, because it's kind of like, well, I wrote that 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever it was, 30 years ago. It's like, why would, you know, it's just kind of revisit and rewriting the same song, you know. I saw a really great, inspiring interview with Tony Benn the other week, or a few months ago, saying, where he said that cynicism is the real enemy, you know, and I think it's so right as well. So I'm kind of always kind of wary of, conscious of that as well. But, you know, I don't know if that answers their question anyway, but I do still get angry, but I just don't know how to direct it always, you know, and I can't just be the person I was 30 years ago who just put it straight into a song, you know, unless it comes naturally, you know, I'll find it hard to do that.
Yeah. Chris asks, is there any musical instrument that you'd like to learn to play, and anyone that you'd like to duet with?
I'd love to be able to play flute, and I'd love to be able to play violin. I have absolutely no chance of doing either, but I would like to in the fantasy thing. I'm supposed to be doing some writing with Miles Kane, but whether that's a duet, I don't know. But I'm looking forward to working with him.
It was certainly interesting watching you do duets at the Electric Poms a few years ago. We obviously had Amy Winehouse there, Carl Barat, and what's his name from Hardfire?
Richard Archer,
yeah. I mean, there's three contrasting, very interesting. Which of those did you enjoy the most on that evening?
Well, they're all different, like you said, aren't they? So, you know, but I mean, Amy was something special, wasn't she?
Mm.
And you know, I can just remember the first day she came down to our rehearsals for that gig, you know, and it's just as soon as she started singing, I looked around the rest of the band, and everyone was just smiling and beaming, and because you know, she had that God-given talent. You know what I mean? You very rarely see someone who can sing that way and perform like that. So that was really special, I've got to say, really.
I just made quite.
And I sang with Adele about, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago, and she was the same thing really. Just naturally, she just sings, and it's just fantastic straight away.
Neil Kelly wants to know, on a normal day and you're not touring, recording or promoting, how do you relax on your day off?
How do I relax? I go to Waitrose normally, get out the house for a bit really, and just go into a little trance with my shopping trolley. It's always nice. And I really enjoy my home life now, you know, even though it's busy at home as well. But I really love it, and I miss it when I'm away from it even much more than I ever used to. So, in between sort of feeds or talking to someone, and you know, I would just kind of I don't do anything. I just sort of drift off really, or I watch TV. I suppose that's what lots of people do, I guess, isn't it? It's just a way of looking into this sort of coloured light and getting transcendental with it. But I just do normal things, you know, believe it or not.